Welcome to Ink and Fitness. For those who are new to my channel, my name is Anthony. I am someone who went from skinny to fit, and these videos are purely educational. So this way, if you are also someone who's skinny and who's looking to gain muscle, gain mass, then you can take what you're learning from inside of these videos, apply them, be consistent with them, and see your own results. For those that are interested in one-to-one coaching, the link for that will be down below. So feel free to check that out. In terms of the video for today, I'm gonna literally just unfold, what's the right word here that I'm trying to look for? I'm not really sure, but I am going to essentially take out the curtains and show you guys a nice little no bullshit guide on how I personally went from skinny to jacked fast, quote unquote. It does take hard work and consistency, but if you follow these principles that I'll share with you all here today, you'll be able to see your own results in a very quote unquote quick timeline. And the reason I have quick and fast in quotations is because you're not going to see results tomorrow or next week or the next month, but you're definitely going to see results a lot quicker opposed to if you were to try to figure all this shit out on your own by yourself. So this will save you years of progress that you could have made. And so listen to this video, follow it, apply it, and be consistent with it, and you should see your own results. So let's get right into it. And what we'll be covering for today is a couple different things. I'm going to share with you all how I broke the skinny cycle. I'm going to share with you all some mindset stuff, some eating stuff, some training stuff, measuring progress, the importance of it as well, and asking for help. So let's get straight into things so this way we can kick off this video. For a little bit of context, for those who are new to my channel as well, and maybe for a reminder for those who are, still with us, who are still with this channel, this used to be me. This used to be me several years back. I'd say these pictures were anywhere between 7 to 5 years back, give or take. Um, and yeah, as you can clearly see, I was a pretty skinny individual. Didn't even start lifting at this time. I was still running cross country at that time on the picture on the left there with the green shirt. But obviously you guys can see I was pretty fucking skinny. Look at the fucking, you can literally see my bone, my arm bone. So when I say I was skinny, I don't mean that in a, oh yeah, like I was, and for context, I'm 6'0". Right now I weigh around 215, 220. I'm on a cut right now. Nothing, I'm not trying to get shredded because I'm not a fucking a bodybuilder or anything like that. I'm just a guy who enjoys pushing my body to its limits and going beyond them. So I'm on a slight cut, right? I'm just trying to lean down a little bit more. But I was obviously a skinny guy, right? I'm not like one of those guys that, say that they're skinny, but really they're not skinny. They look decent, right? They're not too overweight and they're not too skinny. They're right in the middle. So yeah, pretty skinny, pretty fucking skinny. And the picture on the right with the Five Guys shirt, because that's where I used to work for, 4 or 5 years of my life. When I was able to start working, that was around the first year and a half of my training journey. And even then, I was still making some mistakes that uh, definitely would have saved me a lot of more years and time and progress. So all in all, this is what I used to look like. And let's get straight into the first topic, which is how I broke the skinny cycle. It was not because of my fast metabolism. That's the first thing that I want to say, because a lot of people say, but I have a fast metabolism, right? I cannot gain weight. I'm eating so much fucking food. I'm eating X, Y, and Z food. I'm eating a whole hippo. I'm eating a whole lion for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and I'm not gaining any weight because it's because of my fast metabolism. And I hate to break it to you all, but it's not because of your fast metabolism. The answer is quite simple. You're not eating enough. So what do you need to do? You need to eat more. Pretty obvious answer, pretty simplistic and easy answer, but we as humans feel like we need to do all these complicated different bullshit items in order to reach our end goal, when really in order to reach our end goal, it's much more simpler than that, right? Sure, you need to follow some sort of step-by-step process or follow some sort of pillars, but 10 times out of 10, the pillars that you need to follow, the step-by-step that you need to follow is so much more easier than what it's, meant out to be from some of these people out there in the fitness industry that are saying you need to do, fucking ice baths in the morning, workout 2 hours or 3 hours a day for 6 times per week. You need to do 5 sets of whatever exercise, and you need to optimize this, optimize that, blah, blah, blah. Right? You see what I'm trying to say here? It does not need to be as complicated as that. It's actually a lot more simpler and easier than a lot of people make it out to seem or make it out to be. So, with me saying that, yeah, it's definitely easier said than done because it's the hardest part. And there's a whole lot of different variables that come into play with this, but the hardest part is definitely being disciplined and being consistent, right? But I promise you, once you get the ball rolling, it just becomes second nature at some point. You just have to be patient with yourself and and most importantly, be disciplined, right? And through being disciplined, you need to figure out why you are doing what you're doing, right? Why are you even wanting to get in shape? Why are you, as a skinny guy, wanting to increase your muscle mass, right? Is it because of confidence? Is it because you're getting bullied? Is it because you're trying to pick up more girls? Is it because that you want to be in a relationship? Is it because you want to get a better job? Is it because you want to get the confidence to start a business, right? As you can see, there's so many different reasons why everyone does different things. And some of those reasons may evolve over time. For example, I wanted to get inside of the gym because I wanted to increase my confidence. I wanted to ask out certain girls out on dates, right? Just have the confidence to even just go up to a girl and talk to her, boost my own self-esteem. But later, it turned into me doing something or me wanting to do something because of a very, I guess, I don't want to call it a stupid reason, but just a very, at that time, immature reason, because I started working out when I was in my teens, immature reason to something more inspiring, more purposeful, more fulfilling. Because now the only reason why I want to work out is because I want longevity in my health. I want to look good, I want to feel good, and I want to be able to lift shit or help people lift heavy shit, right? Help my family, keep up with my niece and my nephew, and overall just make sure that I'm in the best shape that I can possibly be in for the years that I have in my life, however long that may be. So it's all about for me optimizing my own health. And yes, in the process, um, I look better. I fucking feel stronger. My confidence is up. My self-esteem is further boosted. All these different things, right, come into play when it comes to all this. So it's why it's so important to figure out your why, right? And it's okay if your why is something as simple or something as, again, this is not me trying to knock it down, right? Because I think it's important to have something to strive for, something to work towards in general, whatever it may be. But if it's something just such as wanting to be in a relationship or wanting the confidence to talk to certain girls or any girl, right? That's okay because not everything is going to look perfect or not everything is going to be exactly according to plan in terms of you wanting to reach this end goal destination because sometimes plans change, goals change, and you just can't stop it. And that's okay because your intuition or maybe how you feel as age, as you grow wiser, has you wanting to change or steer in a different direction in terms of your own goals, in terms of what you're currently doing in this present time because you feel like it might serve a better purpose for yourself, right? Or it might serve something better for you or different areas of your life, right? Whatever it may look like. So I hope that made sense. I know I went on a little bit of a tangent there about goals and discipline and figuring out why you are doing this in the first place, but I think it's very important to have a good reason why. Or just any reason why you are doing a specific task or a specific item or a specific, thing that you're wanting to do. Because if you don't, then this is not always the case, but it's definitely easier to quit altogether if you don't have that vision, if you don't have that goal in mind. Now, just to kind of further prove the point, I mean, this is what I looked like in high school. I used to run a lot, as you can clearly tell, my track uniform. I used to run cross country track all year round, except for my senior year of high school. Had tendonitis on the hip, so I couldn't run for the whole year pretty much. I mean, the doctor said 6 months, 6 months, but I decided to just take the whole year off. And that's really the year I started, lifting, going to the gym, getting in shape. And yeah, like I mentioned before, I made a shit ton of mistakes my first few years, which cost me a lot of progress, but everything happens for a reason. And I make these videos so that way I hope you guys take it seriously and take notes, implement, and take action and be consistent with the things that I talk about here because I think it's really gonna, not I think, I know it will help most of you out there. if you're serious about this. Because these are the things, these are the advice, this is the advice, these are the tips, these are the things that I wish someone would have told me in the beginning of my own fitness journey. So this way, I would have saved more time and I would have definitely looked a lot more better than I do presently now, right? Because my physique is just decent presently, right? It's nothing special. Again, I'm not a bodybuilder or anything like that. I just do this just because I fucking, again, longevity, but I also just love pushing myself, right? Pushing my body, my mindset, my mentality, beyond its limits. So yeah, this is what I looked like here in high school when I ran a lot. Again, just further proving the point that yes, I am a pretty skinny individual, or was a pretty skinny individual. Moving forward though, I will show you at the end of the video how I look like now, presently. Um, I was gonna show you guys in the next slide, but I just decided to save it for the end of the video. So that's where we can actually get to the meat and potatoes of what I want to speak about here with you all today. So let's begin with the tips and advice. So the first thing first, or first things first, mindset, right? You want to have your mindset in check because this is not easy, to say the least. The principles, the steps, pretty fucking easy. But in order to be disciplined, in order to incorporate a healthy habit, or maybe you're replacing a bad habit with this habit, exercising instead, it takes time to develop and it takes effort on your end. A lot of front end effort. Maybe not a lot, but more than you're comfortable with. And so, some advice or some tips that I have for you guys, I guess sub advice or sub tips that I have under this bigger tip of mindset is minimizing social media because you see a lot of people who look amazing, right? Their physiques are phenomenal online, right? But you have to realize some of those fitness influencers, fitness coaches, personal trainers, bodybuilders, some of them are on some sort of gear. So performance enhancing drugs that make them look big as shit. They're able to work out 24/7, not literally 24/7. It's just an over exaggeration, but you know what I mean. Um, and just look amazing, right? Because they have that kind of cheat code, quote unquote. And there's nothing wrong with gear use. I don't care if anyone uses gear or anything like that. What I care about, though, is if someone is dishonest about their gear use and uses it to promote some sort of supplement, Liver King, or so, promote whatever product they're promoting and saying their product is the reason why they look the way that they do. But in reality, it's because of all the fucking gear that they're putting inside of their system. So I don't care if you use gear, all the power to you. Just be honest with it and don't try to scam people or fucking, you know, um, ha- allow people to have these delusional expectations of how their physique would look like if they take your supplement or if they work out your certain type of way, right? Because deep down it's just because of the drugs that you're taking. So keep that in mind because the natural expectation has gone out the window, right? There's like the other day I saw some guy who looked amazing. He was a natural lifter who he looked fucking great, right? Phenomenal physique. And then on the comment section of that particular video, people were just bashing on him because they were saying, you spent X amount of years for that physique, for that mid physique, for looking small, for looking X, Y, and Z way, right? Just a bunch of negative comments. And those people are the same people that look up to these people who or who use gear, who might be dishonest about their gear use, whatever it is, right? And because of that, it has made those people have unrealistic expectations about what can be naturally accomplished inside a given time frame. So also keep that in mind. And also just staying off of social media will help with your own confidence because you're not comparing yourself with anyone. You're staying in your own lane and you're just focusing on yourself, right? You have tunnel vision, which is a good thing to have. Get your mental straight. There's something that you're going through. The gym will definitely help you out. In my opinion, the gym is just a great therapy session. Just because like it helps you essentially get out everything that you've been or get out everything that you feel worked up about, right? You take it out on the weights. Um, I guess to further expand that point, if you have any sort of, let's say, mindset troubles or mental health problems, whatever it is, apart from just going to the gym, ensure that you're seeking help out, right? Therapy, journaling, meditation, whatever it is that you feel works best for you to further your mental health, right? Progression, to help with your own mindset, do it. Um, because obviously you're not going to be working out 24/7, and I would not recommend that. But just to make sure that you have your mental straight is going to be super beneficial because it's going to allow for you to constantly show up for yourself, even on those days where you don't feel like it. And it really does feel good, right? Because when you look in the mirror and love yourself for who you are, not just because of looking some sort of certain way, um, it really increases the love that you have for yourself. And that in turn increases your own confidence, your own self-esteem. Because yes, the gym is fantastic for transforming your own physique, for transforming your own body, but you also want to learn how to love yourself for who you are, not just for how you look like. For me, I started this because of a lack of confidence. I didn't like the way that I looked, right? And that's just me being honest. Fucking hated how I looked. I hated that some of my family members would call me skinny. I mean, I grew up in a Hispanic household. I'm Hispanic, I'm Peruvian. So if you are also Latino, then you know what I'm talking about, right? Like they have these little nicknames, flaquito, gordita, right? Stuff like that. That one may find funny, but when it's directed at you, sure, on the external side of things, you're laughing it off, but internally you're like, I kind of feel like shit. I don't like that, you know? So a combination of those different things got me started on my own fitness journey. And but that's why I further express the point, like get your mental straight, right? Because if you have gone through something like that or anything like that, then you just want to make sure you help yourself, right? Because you don't want to just take it out. You just don't want to take it all out on the weights, right? Sure, to help you, but long term wise, you want to get that stuff sorted out within yourself, so that way it doesn't cause further issues as you grow up, as you get older. All in all, though, lean into doing the hard things. Again, getting in shape, going from skinny to fit is nothing easy. But there is beauty in doing things that are uncomfortable, right? There's growth and discomfort. So if anything, get comfortable with being uncomfortable. Tip number two is eating more, right? This is what I mentioned a few slides ago. You, a lot of people, a lot of skinny guys need to eat more in general, right? Eating 300 to 500 calories above your maintenance is the perfect sweet spot, so you don't look like a blob, for lack of a better word, because of eating an excess amount of calories that you don't need, aka dirty bulking, right? When you're eating thousands of calories above your maintenance calories. By going on a slight bulk, so eating 3 to 500 above your maintenance, you're able to stay relatively toned, you'll feel good, and you'll still gonna gain muscle because you are in a surplus, so long as you're training and so long as your rest and recovery is also in check. So keep that in mind as well, because it's just not keeping one out of the three areas of fitness dialed in or two out of the three areas of fitness dialed in. It's keeping all three areas of fitness dialed in. So when I see all three areas, I mean I mean training, eating, and rest and recovery. Track your weight and your eating daily. Use MyFitnessPal to track your eating. Use the Notepad app on your smartphone to track your weight. Once you hit a plateau, which you will hit plateaus multiple times throughout your bulking phase, increase increase weight. Did not mean to type that in. Increase calories, that's what it should be. Increase calories by another 3 to 500. And you're just going to repeat that process over and over and over again once you hit those plateaus. But as you can see, that's why it's so important to track your weight at least once per week. Once per week. That's really all you need, to be honest, just once per week. So this way you can see if you're gaining weight, maintaining weight, or losing weight. And obviously, if you're maintaining or losing weight, then you know what you need to do, right? You need to bump up those calories by 3 to 100 more. So this way you can get out of that little rut that you're in, right? So that way you can start gaining weight. As far as training goes, don't train like a loser. right? Don't train like a baby. Actually exert yourself for once. Train hard until failure. Because I know I wish I would have trained in this way at the very beginning of my fitness journey. I literally would have saved countless years of potential gains if I trained in this way from the very start. It's no joke when I say that. Now, as far as training till failure goes, some principles to follow is that you want to control the movement all the way throughout. You want to pick a moderate weight, not too heavy, but not too light either. And you want to focus on a 3 to 4 second eccentric, excuse me. So the way down of the movement, the negative part of an exercise movement. So focus on controlling that portion of the movement for 3 to 4 seconds. Have a 1 to 2 second pause at the bottom of the movement. So the stretch portion of the movement. So the pause, the bottom part of the movement. So for example, if you were to do a bicep curl, you go all the way down 3 to 4 seconds, right? And then at the bottom, the locked out portion right here, you just hold that for 1 to 2 seconds and then you explode on the way up. So that's kind of the principle that I like to follow when it comes to doing one single rep on an exercise movement. Now, this is a big mistake that I made in the beginning. Through focusing on your form, that is not an excuse for you to pick a super, super light weight and just start, having really good form, of course, but just doing high reps of a certain exercise and not even exerting yourself, because that's what I did in the beginning. I was so obsessed with my form that I would do like these 10-second eccentrics. I wouldn't even do the pause at the time, and I would just explode on the way up. I would just spend so much time just focusing on the way down of the movement, like literal 10 to 15 second long eccentrics, and that's like it's counterproductive. And the weight would be so light too that I wouldn't even be breaking a sweat. I wouldn't be exerting myself. So that's why you want to pick a moderate weight, not heavy, not too heavy, excuse me, not too light either, but just enough where you can control the weight with proper technique and proper form, so this way you can still exert yourself. And I don't know if I'll mention this in the next slides. Okay, apparently not. Let me see. Okay, apparently not. But as far as sets and reps goes, just do two sets of each exercise for 6 to 8 reps. Follow that rep range, and literally within that 6 to 8 rep range, you will hit failure. Guaranteed, as long as you pick a heavy enough weight with proper form and performing that, count and scheme that I mentioned for each rep. So I will repeat it once more. 2 sets till failure, 6 to 8 rep range, ideally. And the last point is just progressive overload. So there are 3 different ways to progressively overload. Number one is just increasing weight, increasing reps is number two, and then increasing sets is number three. The most popular way, though, as I'm sure you've seen a lot of fitness influencers or fitness coaches do, is increasing the weight. Number one. That's really the way I like to progressive overload as well. I just like to increase the weight gradually by either 2.5 to 5 pounds and just working my way up constantly. So let's take, for example, for those who don't know what progressively overloading with weights is, right? Let's take, for example, a simple bicep curl, right? 1 week, we're doing 20 pounds. Remember, 2 sets by 6 to 8 reps. And we're doing 20 pounds because it's a moderate weight. Let's just say it's a moderate weight for us. So we do both of those sets and we reach the top of the rep range, so 8 for both of those sets with really good form, really good technique. And so that means the following week when we do bicep curls again, when we perform them again, we're going to do 25 pounds because we were able to complete the 20 pounds successfully for the given rep and set scheme with proper form and technique. So that means we're going to increase the weight by 2.5 to 5 pounds. And since most weights just go up 5 pounds, we're just going to go up 5 pounds for this example. And so the following week, we'll do 25 pounds, 2 sets, 6 to 8 reps, and then we're going to try to hit that top of the rep range, 8 reps with perfect form, perfect technique for both sets. And if we end up getting it, we increase the weight again and we repeat that same process. Not every week, though, are you going to see an increase of weight. Not every week will be like that, just so you know. There will be some weeks where you're going to be stuck at 6 reps, so that lower rep range for 2 sets, or even 5 reps, right? And that's totally normal. You just need to be patient with yourself and keep pushing yourself and keep exerting yourself, right? Because eventually you will hit that top of the rep range, 8 reps, so that way you can keep progressing. But this all just takes time. Now, number 4 is measuring progress. Tip number 4. As I mentioned already, make sure to just track your weight, track your eating. Again, track your weight through using the Notepad app on your phone, or just track your eating through using MyFitnessPal. Also, make sure to track your workouts and see if you're getting stronger, right? So make sure that you stick to one workout program. Do not just hop around from different ones. Stick to one. Um, track your progress throughout your workout. So track how much weight you're at, how many, have the sets and reps on there as well, and just make sure that you're successfully tracking each exercise and being honest with yourself if you did complete the sets and rep scheme, and if you're able to progressively overload on that given exercise because you were able to perform the sets and reps successfully. So I don't use any fancy app or any apps in general to track my workouts. I just use the Notepad app on my phone. For me, it's easiest just because I build out my own workout programs. So that's why I use that. So on that point, make sure to either buy, make, or find a workout program that would work best for you given your schedule, right? Because some people are able to train 2, 3, 4, or 5 times per week. So given your schedule, find the right workout program for you and just stick with it. And just make sure to take lots of progress pictures too, is the final point. Because you're not gonna notice a difference right off the bat. Obviously on a day-to-day basis, you're not gonna notice it. But as you compound kind of the days, so once months and years go by, obviously you're gonna see the difference then. So make sure to take lots of pictures so that way you can see kind of where you're started from and where you're at now. Last but not least is asking for help. Asking for help is not a form of weakness, just so you guys know, right? If you feel stuck somewhere or if you just need to be held accountable, then ask for help, right? I'll even help you guys out. I have one-to-one coaching, so feel free to click that link down below if you feel like you need to be held accountable, if you feel like you need support, if you feel like you just need something a little bit more personalized for yourself, right? There's no shame in asking for help. You can also ask help from someone that you trust, a best friend, a family member, whoever it is, right? Again, there is no shame in asking for help. It's not a sign of weakness. It's a sign that you actually give a shit about what you're doing and you want to be better at it and you want to do better. So apart from that, you can watch YouTube videos. Again, apply for coaching. Doesn't just have to be from me. It could be from someone else. Ask someone in your gym for advice that you feel like has a solid physique, etc., etc. Because I followed and decided to be consistent with the tips that I just shared with you all, this is how I look like now, right? This is how I look like now. So I went from pretty fucking skinny, to looking pretty fucking decent. So just to show you guys, I'll just stick to this before and then after. So I'd say this picture here is what I most recently look like just because I am on a cut. I'm leaning down a little bit. So as you can see, I gained a pretty decent amount of weight and muscle, of course, just because of following those steps. And obviously, you know, I want to express it's not going to happen overnight or in a couple weeks or in a couple months, right? You're not going to notice that big difference, whatever it is. But if you stay consistent, if you just keep being patient and keep putting in the work, I promise you, you will see the results that you want to see. Literally, 99% of this game is just being consistent and having patience. And most people nowadays do not have that. Fuck, I even struggle with that at times. So if you can do those things, be consistent and be patient, you're ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the pack. But that covers it for today's video, you guys. I know it's definitely a little bit of a lengthier one, but I know it's going to provide the value that you skinny guys need to actually start seeing results. As always, just please make sure to like, comment, subscribe, comment down below if there's something that you want to see in terms of a specific um, video content idea, and I'd be able to, make it for you all, and I'd be happy to make it for you all, of course. Till the next one, though, guys, much love to you all. Get after those gains. Make sure to be consistent, put in that work, take action most importantly, and until the next one, take care.